going to smash up those toffees, aren't we, I believe? It's Mbeumo time, hashtag Mbeumo time, and Mbeumo is starting in the game, or at least he'll be featuring the game, we know that much. It's going to be the debut of Mbeumo later on, guys. Looking forward to that. You know he's going to be good. He's a hard-working, no-nonsense fella. I think he's going to be good for us, this guy. So excited to see that later on. We're, of course, doing a watch-along for it. Tommy says, is it on TV tonight? I think it is on Sky Sports, lad. Yeah, I think it is on Sky Sports. Yes, I believe it is. The summer series. I don't think the Fiorentina game coming up next week is on Sky. I think that's only on MUTV, or maybe it is on a channel wherever you are watching from around the world. But I think it's only on MUTV in the UK, that one. But I'm pretty sure this one's on Sky. So anyway, we're doing the watch-along for that one later, so make sure you come and join us for that tonight. It's 10 p.m. UK time kickoff, so we're going to be getting going around about 9:30. So yeah, not too far away tonight. Should be a good one, guys. Little late-night watch-along. We'll smash up those toffees raw. I mean, actually, United have looked pretty damn decent in the pre-season, all things considered. We had a bit of a ropey start. That 0-0 game was dross. But other than that, it's been positive, particularly the last game against Bournemouth. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how they actually do when we start the Premier League, but there's signs of maybe them just getting, finally, a bit of a better culture at United. Everybody looks a bit leaner, a bit fitter. There seems to be a lot more effort levels out there. It seems a lot more dynamic, a lot more intent with the way we play, a lot more aggressive. You know, I'm liking what we're seeing, really, especially in the last game. But obviously, we've got to keep that going now. So tonight is another opportunity to do that. One thing that is certainly still true is that Man United need a goal scorer, a striker, because Gasmus Boyland, although we got a good glance in ahead of the other game, he is still, let's face it, a bit of a soggy Danish bacon. Of a player. It's not the best. He's not sizzling crispy, is he? No, he's wet and soggy and not quite cooked enough. You know, when somebody gives you a bacon sarnie, guys, and it's just like it's basically just like, looks like thick ham that's not even really been cooked there. That's what I'm talking about. It's not palatable. You don't want that. You want nice, crispy, well done bacon, or at least I do. Do you know what I mean, though, guys? Pisses you off when somebody underdoes bacon, man. When we go in a cafe and you get a cheeky little bacon sarnie and they're serving you up a piece of raw pig. You know, it's not nice, mate. You want a nice crisp on it, don't you? Yeah, you do. Almost slightly burned. You know what I mean? Anyway, fair enough. It's not for everyone. Okay, right. Let's talk about it though. So Højlund, yeah, not the best striker position. Need to address it. Sesko at the moment is being pursued hotly by Newcastle United. Oh, I agree, Gungshi. Underdone bacon is a crime. I agree, Gungshi. It's filth, isn't it? You know, you've got to have crispy bacon. Bacon is one of the most immense things in the world to munch on if it's done right, and one of the gassiest if it's done wrong. Exactly, the cake cadet. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't, I'm not saying it's raw, but I'm just saying when you get it and it's underdone, you know, and it's just like still like really, really like almost white pink and just soggy and not crispy at all. And I don't like that, guys. You know, big bit of fat on it. I don't like that, guys, you know? No. Not for me. Anyway, so Højlund's a bit of an underdone bacon sandwich of a footballer. What we really need is a full-on, all-day breakfast sandwich. I'm talking bacon, sausages, eggs, bit of ketchup, you know? Well, I don't know what we're even talking about anymore, but I'm hungry. But what I am saying is we just need somebody who's got a bit more variety, a bit more quality, a bit more overall quality going on there, you know, in the goal scoring position. We need someone who can score. So that's where somebody like Sesko, Ollie Watkins, Mateta, Doris the Tea Lady may come in instead of Gasmus Boyland, who, let's face it, he struggles to hit the side of a barn door when he's opening it and touching the handle. He is very much a bang average finisher. Maybe this is the season he's going to turn out to be good, but I'm not holding my breath for it. So I expect us to still go out there and get someone. Sesko situation, let's look at the latest. So, you know, at the moment, we know that RB Leipzig rejected the offer from Newcastle initially yesterday. Newcastle did put down a pretty hefty-looking offer early doors to RB Leipzig, around about a total of £70 million. That's including the add-ons. But David Ornstein reported last night, that RB Leipzig view Newcastle offer of Benjamin Sesko as insufficient. Newcastle's proposal of €75 million plus €5 million after RB Leipzig asked interested clubs for €75+ million and add-ons plus sell-on. Man United's pursuit also continues, but no bid yet. So we haven't put in any offers. We haven't actually bid for him yet. We have been in discussions. I mean, the reality is we're talking about a huge amount of money now. I mean, RB Leipzig have turned down Newcastle's initial offer of £70 million. This is probably why Arsenal did go and pursue Victor Gyökeres in the end, because they just couldn't get that deal done there with RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig looking for huge, huge money. So they're looking for far too much money, I think, for him. Newcastle can pay it right now. We can't. I don't think we can. I think it represents too much money for us at the moment. They are rejecting offers like that. They want even more money from Newcastle. Are we going to match that? I'm very skeptical. Fjortov says this. He said that Manchester United's approach for Sesko carries a degree of risk. They're waiting for the player's approval before making a decisive move. Leipzig, however, are keen to avoid that scenario. They want multiple clubs in the race to drive up the fee as much as possible. Sesko's camp gives the green light to Club A. Club B is effectively out of the picture. Right, anyway, so, yes, this is it. Like, it's obviously on Sesko. Sesko's still really yet to decide his fate and his future. He's got offers on the table from United and Newcastle. We don't know the deals, but I'm imagining Newcastle are prepared to pay him quite handsomely here if they're talking about buying him for this amount of money and to replace someone like Isak. So I don't see how we can compete. You know, it's the same as yesterday, but we still haven't bid for him. That's the key thing. Maybe we're waiting until, I don't know, RB Leipzig accept the offer from Newcastle and then we're just going to match it. That is possible and feasible, but we're talking about 80 million quid here. I can't see it happening. Let's ask the live chat, guys, yes or no. Do Manchester United have the money to do this? Do we go and get him? Do we bid 80 million for him? Yes or no? What do you think? I say actually no. I don't think we are going to get this guy. I think we're simply going to go for somebody else now. Newcastle talking about spending huge cash. Where are we getting this cash from? Paul S., thank you so much, mate, for your 19.99 super chat, lad. Come on. Thank you, Paul. That's very nice of you, lad. He says, do you think other clubs are waiting until the end of the window before bidding for Garnacho, Sancho, etc.? It will be too late to use the proceeds for new players. Good shout, Paul. Well, in regards to this Sesko situation, they need to be able to spend the money now and recoup it. I think that's a fair point. I think you're absolutely spot on, Paul, with what you're saying. Look, we thought there would be teams really pursuing Garnacho and Sancho and these players really early doors. But no, I think it is going to be one of those things that goes on until the end of the window. You're absolutely spot on. Especially when you're talking about shithouses and egomaniacs like this who probably need the right perfect scenario, cotton wool football club to go and join. You know, somewhere where they're going to be wrapped up in cotton wool and mollycoddled and paid a lot and have the big brand of a football club to play for, etc. So, you know, Garnacho at Chelsea, Sancho at Juventus, something along those lines. But they're not happening. It's not happening right now, is it? I think it will happen. We've got to get rid of those guys. Surely they're going. We know Amorim said he's prepared to sort of introduce them back into the squad because they're Manchester United players. But it's all just, you know, end of the day, we need to try and just move them on. I mean, let's have a look at what Amorim actually said in regards to Garnacho. Thank you so much for that, by the way, Paul S. You're a legend, lad. Get some love in there for him. Let's just talk about this for a second. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Amorim has been talking about the players before ahead of the game. He's done an interview which dropped, was it yesterday or earlier on today? I watched it just as I woke up with my cup of coffee. And he said some things. These are one of the things he said in regards to Garnacho. He said, Alejandro Garnacho is a really talented boy, but sometimes things don't work out. You cannot explain specifically what that is. It's clear he wants a different thing with a different leadership. Also, I did notice yesterday that Alejandro Garnacho had liked a post by Fabrizio Romano on Instagram, which was basically this post. He liked this post, I think it was, which is the one that says, Chelsea are pursuing both Xavi Simons and Alejandro Garnacho deals. Separate deals, separate topics are not alternative. Both players keen on joining. Talks advanced for Xavi, Leipzig where players desire. No talks for Garnacho yet, but he's on Chelsea's list. And Garnacho's liked the post on Instagram. I mean, that this is the Twitter version, but you know what I mean. Alejandro, what a shithouse. Get him sold immediately. Gashbag. Goodness me. You know, look, but don't touch. Why is he liking that post? I think that's very disgraceful and unprofessional. Again, I can't stand the guy. So this is why we've got to get rid of him. He wants different stuff from what we can provide right now, it seems. He doesn't want to maybe put the shift in and work hard and fight for his place in the team, but also, you know, maybe he hasn't, you know, he is looking for a team that hasn't finished 15th. He's just got ideas above his station. He's a really big bollocks, this kid. And he needs to be sacked off. Hey, Cake Cadet, you have a great rest of the day at work. Thank you so much for getting in here. Yeah, that's a great shout, Gungshi, as well. If Gashmus is part of the deal, Leipzig may accept that big bid. It's a good point. We talked about Leipzig and the fact that Newcastle are obviously able to offer more money. But if we can include Gashmus Boyland or another player in the deal, then that would certainly mean we don't have to spend as much. So I suppose that could happen. So yes, just on, Garnacho, it seems like Ruben Amorim obviously doesn't want him. We want to move him on, just in regards to what Paul S. was saying there. I think that other clubs will be waiting until the end of the window to try and sign these guys, yes. And we're fully prepared for that. We probably will be able to spend money before we've recouped it, knowing that we're going to get, 50 million quid or something for Garnacho from the likes of Chelsea maybe, or perhaps, who knows, Aston Villa, do a swap for Ollie Watkins, whatever. We've got collateral there, don't we? As we've said many times, we can swap Garnacho for Watkins. We can swap Højlund and include him in a deal for Sesko, or there is definitely some structure of a deal we could do with including a player going in the opposite direction. Okay, just on this as well, like about changing the culture of this club and getting rid of a few of these melters, Amorim said we'll now have a new leadership group now. This is going to be very important. It's going to be with Bruno, Lissandro, Harry, Dallo, Tom Heaton and Nusant Mazraoui. So he's saying that these are the new leaders in the team. And, there's some good leaders in there, to be fair. Bruno Fernandes, Lissandro. If I was in a bar fight in Argentina, I wouldn't mind having Lissandro next to me, to be fair. He seems like the sort of fella that would have your back. Harry Maguire, he's a bit of a unit, bit of a slab, but we love our slab, don't we, these days? Yeah. Anyway, just thought that was interesting. He's also said that he wants to stay at Manchester United for 20 years. Ruben Amorim said, I want to stay for 20 years. Well, I want him to stay for 20 years as well, because that would mean that he'd have been a tremendous success. Could he be the next Sir Alex Ferguson? I'm sceptical, but we've obviously got to see how he does. Back the guy, give him the striker, give him the goalkeeper, give him the midfielder that he needs. I know, Tommy says, love Amorim's comments, didn't mince his words. Absolutely, got to love Amorim, don't you? Just love everything about Amorim, to be fair. His air, his attitude. He does seem like an honest, quite frank guy. So I hope he is a success of this football club, because I think he's a good fella. But other than that, you've got to perform, you've got to get the results. As a results industry, he's going to have to do well. But in order to do well, he needs to have the backing of the club to sign the striker and the goalie and everybody else that we need. Just on that as well, on Højlund there, we were talking about maybe including Højlund in a deal for Benjamin Sesko going in the opposite direction over there to Leipzig. Bloody hell, we've got 357 legends in here. Happy Sunday, everyone. Yes, good to see you all. Smash that like button if you're just getting in the stream. That'll help the stream out and boost us up there on the algorithm. Also, give us a subscribe down below if you're new. Click the subscribe button. Get yourself involved. We want to hear from you. Simon Stone says Man United are prepared to let Højlund go for £30 million, which would be a big hit on PSR. Interesting few weeks ahead. So if we're valuing Højlund at around about 30 million and RB Leipzig are valuing Benjamin Sesko at around about 80 million, which it seems they are at the moment, because Newcastle have bid 70 million overall, 65 and 5 in add-ons previously, or around about those figures, and it was rejected. Now they're looking for another 10, 15, who knows, but expected to be around about 80 million pounds total it would take in order to get that Benjamin Sesko deal done there for Newcastle. Can Man United match that deal and pay 80 million pounds for this player right now? Probably not. But then again, we still do have assets at the football club we're trying to move on, which will recoup some of that cash and expenditure, but we haven't sold them yet, and there's no guarantees that we can sell them yet. But players like Garnacho do represent, 50 million pounds, let's say. He should be able to pay for most of the Sesko deal if we can get him sold. Mate, thank you so much there, very much indeed, for your super sticker there, by the way, lad. In the giant spider web and surviving. Wow, that's deep, lad. Another ant in the anthill, so to speak. No, what's going on there, the giant spider web? Thank you very much for the sneak peek of the super sticker there. That's very nice. Yeah, thank you, Muddy Lad. Please like us up. Thank you, Muddy Lad. Okay, so if we're representing Højlund with £30 million and Garnacho £50 million, if you did sell those two players, that pays for Sesko, and then we've got our number 9 striker. Or, like we've said, you can include maybe Rasmus Højlund in a deal going in the opposite direction there. Or not necessarily a loan deal, but perhaps a separate sale. separate sales make sense right now. So we buy him for 80 and they buy Højlund back off us for 30 or 35. Then we've only actually invested 45 million, 50 million in Benjamin Sesko. That means it's kind of possible. And it also means that Rb Leipzig are getting themselves a very good option, a very good striker as well for the season and for beyond if it's a permanent transfer as well. Because, he's 22, he's a young Danish friend international. He'll be doing well probably for his country for many years and playing regularly. And then it's on him to actually be able to develop in terms of his club career because he has, let's face it, been pretty stuttering and gash for the last 18 months at least. He started all right at Man United, but it's been kind of downhill since then. He's got the opportunities with his age to be able to improve and kick on and take this opportunity for what it is, if he was to move. And so he could still go on and do good things, and they know that, and they'd be getting themselves a cheap player who, if he was not at Man United and he was coming from a different team, would probably be more money. It's just United can't get good money for any players because we're awful. We pay big wages and big money. I mean, we paid £73 million for this guy. It was £73 million. Yeah, around about that for Rasmus Højlund. It's a heck of a lot of money, way more than what he's worth, and yeah, that's probably the maximum we can actually get for him. I think he would do well at Leipzig, Garnacho. I really do believe he would. I think he's a good, decent prospect in terms of his physicality. He's obviously quick as fuck. If he was playing in the right team with the right system, I think he'd do well in the Bundesliga because the Bundesliga is, let's face it, a bit of a Mickey Mouse league. Sorry to say. Keep saying it, but it is. There's a few top teams there. We know the Bayern Münchens of this world can tussle with the best. But beyond that, there's just not the depth or quality that you get elsewhere, which is why you do see a lot of Bundesliga players come and struggle in England. Okay, so I think he could do very well out there. I do believe he'd score quite a few more goals than he does at Manchester United if he was playing in the Bundesliga. So it could be included in a loan deal or a swap or some sort of sweetener there for RB Leipzig to make them likely to accept a lower deal for us, because I can't imagine we're paying that sort of money. Just on Sesko's thoughts and opinions of where he's at right now, because obviously it's all dependent on what the player actually wants. We've heard that he's previously open to joining Manchester United without Champions League football, but Newcastle do have the European football there to offer him. They also are desperate for a new striker with what's happened with Isaac, so there's a good opportunity there. They are in a good position with Eddie Howe, stable, with lots of backing, and they're just in a good place. Now, they're obviously nowhere near as Goliath of the club as Man United, so it depends on what Sesko wants. Is he looking at the long-term, bigger picture here? Because if he's looking at the season after next, or the season after that, and a long-term career, if he's looking at that, then I think Manchester United makes the most sense, right, to be honest, because it's a bigger football club. We win more trophies. We're more likely to be winning Premier League titles or FA Cups or whatever it is and getting into Europe than Newcastle, even though Newcastle are currently there right now. They're not going to win it, I don't think, anytime soon, personally. It's just a bridge too far maybe for them for a while. Man United's got that history, we've got that tradition of winning things. So if you're Sesko and you actually want to go to somewhere long-term and be successful and win things and play for a huge club, then Man United has got a special vibe about it. It's like if Barcelona in Spain, I mean, it's not like this because obviously the Premier League's much more competitive. But just imagine if Barcelona had 5 shit years over in La Liga. Like, we're talking they've finished 7th and 6th, and they're just having an absolute dross mare for whatever reason. The owners, the finances, whatever, the debt, whatever. They're just having a shit time. Well, even if they finish 15th, right, they are still Barcelona. They're still the biggest club, or one of the biggest clubs, along with Real Madrid, obviously, in the world and Spain. And so they would still be able to give that, that draw, that pull to a player to come. And Man United is that size football club before anybody says anything. We are one of the special handful of football clubs in that sentence, right, of the biggest clubs in the world. We're just not good as a football team right now, but as a club, historically, we are. So that means something. Maybe Sesko would want to join United, but obviously I still believe that Newcastle could twist his arm with the Isaac situation and the fact that they have got the European football and all that sort of stuff. So this is what Sky say earlier on this morning anyway. They said that Benjamin Sesko is understood to be open to both Man United and Newcastle projects, but one source has said he's leaning towards United. And there is only one United, we all know that, and that's Man United. So one source has said he's leaning towards United. Well, we'll see. What source is this? Is it Goofy from the Disney World? Who is the source? That's the thing. Sky just saying that somebody has said that Sesko's interested in Manchester United, maybe. But if I was him, I'd be interested in Man United too, more so. Newcastle's just a bit of a shackled club. Yeah, they've now got new owners, and they've certainly had the shackles released compared to the Mike Ashley days. But they've won one trophy in like 70 years or something, man. Come on. They're obviously a small club compared to Manchester United, who win trophies even when we're shit. Yeah. So I'll ask the live chat though for a bit of fun. Let's have a look. Who do you think Sesko will sign for, guys? If both the offers were on the table and they were both the same, who would he want to play for? Who do you think he wants to play for? Newcastle right now, with their stability in European football, and Eddie Howe's a good manager and stuff, or Man United with the history and also the potential, and also the fact we probably are going to win more trophies than Newcastle over the next 5 years? Yeah, Gungshi, I like that, mate. He says, my loins are telling me he will choose United. I've got a sort of tingling sensation going on downstairs in the mix-up area as well about that. But United still have to actually get the deal done with him, don't we? I mean, we can be optimistic and hope that United are prepared to match whatever offer Newcastle can offer, and then try and recoup the money back from a Garnacho sale, Sancho sale, Anthony Dos Santos sale, Højlund sale. That's all possible. We can definitely get the money back. So I guess we could spend the money on Sesko. But it's a lot of money we're talking about here. It's a lot of money. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying here. So United, Newcastle, because we simply can't afford him. I kind of think we can't afford him either, Disco. I don't know where the money's coming from. But I suppose if we do factor in, we can sell those players we've mentioned, even though they haven't been sold yet. We could recoup the cash there. United, Sesko, yeah, probably end up at Chelsea. Sesko will stay at Leipzig. His agent's bad. United, fair enough. It's reported over and over that he prefers United, so my guess is he's going to United. Okay, fair enough, but we haven't actually had a bid in there for him at the moment, have we? It's a risky deal. I mean, look, obviously the amount of money we're talking about here is huge. So David Ornstein yesterday reported that Rb Leipzig view Newcastle's offer for Sesko as insufficient, and they've already offered £70 million. And apparently they've asked interested clubs for around about 75 million euros, plus add-ons and a sell-on clause as well. So they're looking for a lot for a buying club. They're looking for maybe 80 million at least, and plus a sell-on clause as well. I think they're asking for too much. Maybe Newcastle will pay it, but I just can't see United paying it right now. But anyway, maybe we will. There's obviously a lot of optimism in the live chat here, in the community here, that we will be able to get the deal done. And so I'm remaining optimistic. If not, then it's not meant to be. If not, it's not meant to be. And to be fair, you know what? It's not a popular stance, but honestly, my opinion still is that we're better off going for someone like Watkins. Honestly, I still feel that. Even though Sesko's so young and has big potential, he is just a Bundesliga Farmer League proven meltbag. That's it. All Slovenian friend, just saying, like in the Bundesliga, it's easier to score goals. That's a fact. And over in the Premier League, it will be difficult for him to put up the same numbers that he put up over there. And guess what? His numbers over there, not even that good. 13 goals and 30 or whatever last season. So he is obviously a player with huge potential. Maybe in 3 years, he will be one of the top strikers around. That's a fair point. But right now, actually, for what we need this season going ahead, I feel like somebody like Watkins, who's 29 with his Premier League proven experience, and he knows what he's doing in the league, and he's proven to put up 16 goals a season average or whatever last 5 years, it's kind of a no-brainer for me, and he's definitely going to cost a lot less money than 80 million. But it's what you're looking for. Do you want the long-term picture where United are trying to build a project for the long future, or do you want someone just for a couple of years now who's going to cost a significant amount of money, but then his financial, his financial depreciation is just going to be huge? Because in 3-4 years, he literally is going to be worth zero. He's going to be gone. Let's face it, his talents are probably in about 3 years going to start leaving him anyway. Not his talents, but he's obviously going to be 32, 33 by then. So you'd expect that he will be slowing down a little bit. He won't be quite as good, quite as effective. You've got to look at the long-term picture. But I still feel like for now, right now, we need someone like Watkins, Visser, Mateta, who has that Premier League proven experience, who is more experienced in terms of age and the Premier League, who can just come in and score goals, proven. And also, I really like the Visser link because of the link up with Mbeumo. And actually, the Watkins link as well with the link up with Mbeumo previously. Thank you very much there, Mugewa, for subscribing to the channel. Legend. Appreciate that. where was that? Where's that gone? But Mugera, thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Just saw you subscribe. And if anybody else is new, please do continue to hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're on here daily with the latest Man United news. We cover the transfer goings on and any big breaking news or anything. So get yourself involved by smashing that subscribe button and also hit the thumbs up. You know it makes sense. Gungshi with a great comment here says, how much would Watkins cost? Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, will Villa even play ball for anything reasonable? Or are they just going to be greedy bastards? Good point. They've not got a lot of money. They probably are open to a sale, but it'd have to be for the right price. I think they'd cash in for 50 million. 50 million quid, which in 3 or 4 years means that, you're definitely not getting your money back from him. But 50 million quid, whereas if you spend 80 million quid on Sesko, in 5 years' time, he's still going to probably be worth 80 million quid. So maybe they will go for Sesko from a financial long-term point of view. But for right now, what we need right now, Premier League proven experience, Vissa, Mateta, Watkins, makes the most sense, if you ask me. You're just afraid Watkins will be the new Martial. You what, Paul? How does that make any sense? I mean, surely you should be more afraid that Sesko would be the new Martial. Do you know what I mean? Because there's more comparisons there. A younger player coming over with hype to the Premier League from a league that they haven't played in before. He's young and inexperienced and unproven. Whereas Watkins, wasn't like Martial at all in the sense that he obviously has that Premier League proven experience. He scored 16 goals last season. He scored 23 the season before in the Prem. He's proven. So I think he will be absolutely fine if he's slotted in there. I mean, the reality is if you slotted in Watkins or Vissa or Mateta into the team and they're playing the number 9, they're much more likely to take to the team and take to the new season than someone like Sesko who hasn't played in the Premier League. Football's football. End of the day, if you're good enough, it doesn't matter, does it? We've seen lots of players still come over from the German league or whatever and smash it up in the Prem. Who remembers the old Jurgen Klinsmann, or whatever? There is a bunch of examples of that. If you're good enough, it doesn't matter. But it's just like the track record is still proven in recent years of a lot of players coming over and struggling. So it's more likely for Watkins to hit the ground running, in my opinion, at United than it would be for Sesko. We get 2 seasons out of Watkins, enough time to look around. Exactly. What do we need right now? We need to climb up the table, secure European football, and then look to the next generation. I completely agree, lad. I would be looking at getting another striker in for the long term next summer. Let's get Watkins, let's get Vissa, someone like that this summer. And then next summer, that's when we go and sign a new Sesko-type player. I think you're absolutely bang on. Paul Warby, thank you for your comments. Says, since 2023, Rasmus has scored 16 goals for us. It's not a good return. He only scored 9 goals in a season for Atalanta. Not a great return, is it? No, you're spot on. It's a lot of money, mate. I mean, it's a lot of money we spent on the guy for very little return. It's kind of got to be one of the worst investments we've made because now we can only get about £30 million for him as well. Thank you, Gung. She says, like and repost for Piggy. Thank you for that, mate. Yes, repost us on X using the link at the top of the chat. J United, you legend, what's happening? Great to see you. How you doing, Lee Heesman, as well? We are going to have a big Q&A at the end of this stream, but I'm just going to cover all the latest news that's coming in, and then we'll get into it. So, as we've mentioned, we are expected to be going in for a bid soon for Sesko, but we haven't yet. It's Newcastle who are doing all the negotiations, and they're expected to be going in for a second bid very, very soon. So this is from Ben Jacobs, who says that Newcastle prepared to improve their 75 plus €5 million offer to Leipzig with optimism a fee and structure can be agreed. Fixed fee already meets Leipzig's valuation. Manchester United also held talks with Leipzig on Saturday evening. Both clubs waiting on Benjamin Sesko's decision, which is now expected quickly. Newcastle now feel in a position to move fast on the club-to-club side. Manchester United yet to place any formal bid, but one will be forthcoming if Sesko gives the green light. Leipzig aware. So this is pretty much the latest situation, if you ask me as well. This is via Ben Jacobs, but this is what I believe where the deal is at makes the most sense. Newcastle are about ready to make a second bid. They haven't done so yet, but they have obviously had one rejected. They're probably going to put in a 75 plus €5 million offer bid with maybe a cheeky little 10% sell-on clause in the future. Who knows? The fixed fee already meets Leipzig's valuation. So in terms of they just want extra added bonuses. Also, a little bit more in terms of, like we said, maybe the sell-on clause, just some extra things they're looking for. United have held talks even last night discussing the situation there club to club. But Benjamin Sesko has to make up his mind. He has to give his decision of who he wants to go and play for, really. And then obviously the clubs can really start to move on the situation with Sesko, but he has to decide. He's got to give his green light to United or Newcastle, and that's where they can then progress with putting in an offer. So it does seem like United are still in for him, even though we haven't tabled an offer right now. Newcastle are definitely leading the chase because they've actually already bid and had one rejected, and they're expected to be improving their offer. United haven't done that yet, which is a bit of a cause for concern, I guess. But it's not advanced to the point where Newcastle have met the demands of RB Leipzig anyway. So we could just be letting them do the negotiations, then we're going to swoop in and match it. Or maybe we'll then say, hey, they're offering you 80, we'll offer you 50 plus Gasper Boyland. You know, maybe that's sort of what they're planning on doing at the last minute. So we were in talks. They've talked for days now. They've not pulled out of talks or anything. So it is still likely that United are going to try and sign him. But we haven't bid, and so we can't say for definite if we're actually even going to bid, but it does look like we are going to bid, but we haven't bid just yet. Newcastle are expected to bid again. So that's the situation, guys, as it is right now with Sesko. You know, at any moment, I suppose we could hear that Sesko's decided that he wants to go to Manchester United, or decided that he wants to go to Newcastle, and then there's no point of us bidding. Or if he's decided he wants to go to Man United, and we're prepared to match that deal that RB Leipzig want, then he's going to be a United player. So we've just got to wait and see what Sesko wants, and also then we've got to wait and see if Man United are prepared to actually match the valuation that RB Leipzig have put on him, and also prepared to meet what also Newcastle United have spent or are going to be spending on him, which is huge money. Boom Chanka says, do United have to sell before they can bid? I don't think so, mate. I mean, we are a big club. We have got resources. We just need to sell players at some point. So, you know, sell some players like Garnacho and Højlund and Onana and Mount and Anti dos Santos and all these players that still are assets at the football club that can generate some cash that we don't need anymore. Get the fuck rid. Mate, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel there, Shelley, the Toffee Blue. You're going down later, Shelley. Thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. Really appreciate that. Legend. Nice one, Shelley. If he chooses Man United, Newcastle just drive the price to and take us to them. Yeah, that's a good point, mate. The amount of money involved is getting pretty silly here. Cash plus Gash for me. Does that mean Garnacho or Gasper Boyland? I don't know, Johnny. Maybe Gasper Boyland. Yeah, good shout, Johnny Swan. I think you're right. Gunchi said it earlier. Like the likelihood of us being able to fork out 80 million right now without selling players, it's not that high. But if we could include a player going in the opposite direction, we've not even talked about Garnacho. We've talked about Garnacho to Chelsea, but maybe Garnacho would play for RB Leipzig. I don't think he would because he's a big ego prat, but just maybe they would be interested in Garnacho and just maybe he'd be interested in them. But I doubt it. So I think Højlund's the most likely to include in a deal or, you know, as part of a swap deal or maybe as part of a separate sale, but to sweeten the deal there for Sesko because at least he's the same position and plays striker and then they don't have to worry about, you know, getting a long-term replacement. They'll have Rasmus Højlund at the club for potentially years and years because he's still only a 22-year-old guy. And say what you want about Rasmus, he is not the best, most clinical player at all. But he does still have big potential. Gyökeres was shite 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So Højlund still has big potential. Agrippa Chinhara, thank you so much for becoming a member once again on the channel. Welcome back to the Bacon Brigade, lad. Thank you so much for becoming a member there, lad. Let's get some love in there for Agrippa Chinhara. Really appreciate you getting in there raw and becoming a member again there, my friend. We have the credit facility. Yeah, that's it. That's it. We've surely got the ability to get the money there together. And then we just obviously need to try and recoup it by selling players. Hey, what's going on there, Unicorn Sky? How you doing, you legend? It's great to see you. What's good? Thought you'd pop in to say hi before going shopping. Where you going shopping? Get some Tony's Chocolonely. Have a great day, Unicorn. Thank you so much for popping in. Hope you're well. Not putting a bid in says a lot to me. Yeah. Well, I think maybe we could just be waiting. You know, remember, there's been times where we've seen other teams go in and have negotiations with a club for a player, and then we've just swooped in, and it happens to us as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that much. Maybe we're just letting Newcastle do the legwork, and we're quietly making our minds up as to whether or not it's worth us actually even matching it. Because if we are talking about huge money, if RB Leipzig are asking for too much, then it may well just not materialise. So that's a fair point. But we've seen it before. Think about like our pursuit of the Butcher. Lisandro Martinez springs to mind a couple of years back when the Dutch Conehead was in charge. And I believe, was it Arsenal? I seem to think Arsenal. Yeah, I think it was Arsenal, wasn't it? Had bid like 30 million and then 35 million. and then 40 million. And then United have just gone, yeah, nice one. They're accepting that, aren't they? Sweet. We'll just swoop in with 40 million. And then he came to us. So that can happen, you know. And I've always thought that if Man United and Newcastle were going for the same player, even right now, the player would be mad not to choose Manchester United because it's a much bigger prospect, much bigger club, much better project, much better potential. All the P's. PPP, PPP. Potential, project, planning, penetration. Have you seen those ugly Bundesliga jerseys? I haven't, mate. No, I can't say that I have. Logistics, probably the reason we haven't bid yet. Maybe other deals for Garnacho, Anthony, Sancho, all close to being done, so we're just ploughing through the math and logistics before we can make the bid. Great shout, lad. I absolutely think that's quite likely, you know, trying to gauge whether or not we're actually going to get this money. I mean, we know that Chelsea have an interest in Alejandro Garnacho, but they're probably prepared to wait, you know, towards the end of the window to get him for as cheap as possible. We know that Amorim doesn't really want our Garnacho here. They're not included in the squad or anything like that at the moment. And he said previously that Garnacho is really talented, or he said today actually, or yesterday, whenever that interview was done, sometimes things don't work out. So he obviously wants different things to what we need. So Garnacho's expected to be sold soon, and he is worth about 50, maybe 60 million pounds. I've always said it, if it's to Chelsea, we should ask for 60 million pounds. That's what we bought Mount for. Don't tell me that Mount's worth more than Garnacho. That's bullshit, mate. And that was a couple of years back. So I'm sorry to say, but if those shithouses Chelsea scum want him, then they're going to have to pay top dollar through the nose for him. They're going to have to pay 60 million. Whereas if it's Aston Villa who wants him, yeah, I'd sell him for 50, to be fair. Or if it's Napoli that wants him, I'd sell him for 45. You know, honestly, that's how I feel about it. But Chelsea, those shithouses, they can pay because they've made us pay for gash bags like Mason Mount and stitched us up. So I know that's our own fault for being stupid enough to actually pay for that mug. But, you know, come on. We've got to get good money for Garnacho, which would hopefully pay for a player like Sesko, more or less. Right, let me just have a look at the latest updates. I'm going to go and shout out everyone that's reposted us over on X here. You're a bunch of legends. We've got 400 legends in here this afternoon. Remember, we're doing a cheeky little watch-along tonight for the Manchester United versus Everton game, starting on this channel at 9:30 p.m. UK time. The kickoff's at 10 p.m. It's the Premier League Summer Series final game. There's going to be an all-trophy presentation for us, isn't there? I don't know, but we're playing Everton. We're playing David Moyes' Toffees. We're going to smash them up with the old metaphorical toffee hammer. Come and join us for the watch-along later. Smash the bell icon to get the notification so you don't miss it. Nice one. Right. Let's shout everyone out real quick who's reposted us. Thank you once again for sharing the show. Then we're going to get stuck into the latest updates that have come out throughout the show. And then we're going to get into the live chat there for a bit. So big ups to the legends that have reposted us. Thank you so much. Paul Angle, Kieran, Craig GC, Vincent Bullock, Devil's Advocate, John Boy Cat, Feline Fur, Aaron, and the Style Bender. Thank you so much, you legends there, for sharing it around. Appreciate that. Okay, it's time now to check the latest updates and see if anything's come out while I've been waffling on this last half an hour. Let me just check X and check the sources and stuff in regards to Man United transfer dealings. Just give me one moment. Interesting. Fabrizio 1 minute ago says, Rb Leipzig have asked Chelsea about Tyreek George during club-to-club talks for Xavi Simons. Separate topic and not into the same deal, but George has attracted interest from Bundesliga and Leipzig are keen. So Leipzig know they got plenty of money coming at the moment, don't they, with a couple of player sales about to happen. I think they'd be interested in Højlund. Look, if they're interested in Tyreek George, some sort of Poundland Saka, surely they're interested in Gasmus Boyland, you know, who's an Oxfam Haaland. He's not even an Oxfam Haaland, is he? I don't know. But come on, if they're interested in B-Tech Saka, then surely they'll be interested in Gasmus Boyland or someone like that. So that's a fair point as well. Okay, this is interesting. Jan Arge Fjortoft 8 minutes ago said in June, Sesko's agent Elvis Basanovic told Fabrizio Romano, even if there may be or will be a strong desire of the player to move to a certain club, we will never force or blackmail RB Leipzig. I believe this is not the right way because the way you actually exit from the club shows your values that you are bringing into a new club. I mean, that's a fair point. That's good comments there from Elvis, to be fair. Okay, Fab 9 minutes ago says exclusive Tyreek George can leave Chelsea this month with Bundesliga clubs keen on signing him. That's interesting, so just link there. Also, Fabrizio Romano 13 minutes ago has just confirmed that there was some rumours, wasn't there, in regards to Firmin. over in Spain that we were linked to him. But Fabrizio Romano, actually 13 minutes ago, has tweeted and said that no negotiations between Man United and Barca for Fermin Lopez, despite recent links. There's nothing at all at this stage with Fermin fully focused on Barca. So that sounds like some fake news BS as well that was being discussed there. So Fermin Lopez, not really a target for Man United, it seems right now. He's focused on Barca. That's what Fab says anyway. Marco Alcaraz says 16 minutes ago that Benjamin Sesko's decision is expected to be imminent. Man United are ready to send their official bid to Leipzig if Sesko chooses to move to Old Trafford. So yeah, I think that's really what it's about. It's what does Sesko want once he's decided, which is expected today or very soon, what his future will be and who he wants to play for. Then obviously that club can then work on getting that deal finalised with Rb Leipzig. Spurs' James Maddison had to be stretchered off in his side's pre-season friendly against Newcastle. Shit the bed. James Maddison out for a while, maybe on a stretcher. Eddie Howe comments on Alexander Isak if he will return to training. He said, of course I'd like him to, but I don't know at this moment. Wouldn't it be funny if Newcastle can't sell Isak this summer now? Because Liverpool have bid, 120 million and they've rejected it. They're looking for 150. Liverpool, I don't think they're prepared to pay that much. I mean, I think the 120 is absolutely more than enough. Crazy how crazy football's going. I mean, yes, Isak's a very good player, but 120 million and they're turning that down. It's insane. So I expect him to go, but if they can't get that deal done, and if he has to be introduced back into Newcastle team, how awkward and gash is that going to be? You know? Florian Plettenberg says, decision soon from Benjamin Sesko, Leipzig boss Marcel Schaffer, not Timo Schafter, Marcel Schaefer, met with Sesko's agents in Leipzig yesterday and today. Sesko's decision will be crucial for the next steps from Newcastle or Manchester United. All parties now want clarity as soon as possible. So just basically the same sort of thing. And that's basically all the new updates that have come out. We know, obviously, Timothy Weah's going over to Marseille. That's another big transfer dealing. An hour ago, Thomas Frank said James Maddison's injury looks bad. It was brutal moment. Shit, what's happened with James Maddison, mate? I'm going to react to it live. Let's watch this James Maddison injury. Sorry, I know it's a bit morbid than that, but that's bad. James Maddison, I know. Oh, not good. James Maddison injury. Let's see what's going on here, mate. See if I can find a cheeky little video of a snappage. Okay, here it is. I don't really know, guys. I can't fucking see anything, mate. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Look, oh, shit, man. It doesn't look good, actually. No. Back. He's down. I don't know what's happened, mate. I don't know what's happened, but it doesn't look good anyway. Crikey, get well soon, James Maddison, for those shithouse spuds. He's made of biscuits, bless him. Yeah, apparently pretty bad. Stretched it off in a friendly with Newcastle. He is always injured. Yeah, it's so true. Sounds too much like vermin. Timo Schafter should be very busy in August. Will Isak be the new British record signing? Certainly could well be, couldn't he? Yeah. I think it's mad. You know, when I think of all the best strikers that have gone previously, and I think of Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak's great player, by the way. He scored 20-odd goals, whatever it was, for Newcastle, just gone. He's still really young. You know, he's going to be great for both club and country for years. But 120 million for Isak. I mean, how much would Alan Shearer be worth in his prime in this current market if Isak's worth 120? Surely Alan Shearer would be worth double what Isak's worth. You know, literally. Surely Alan Shearer would be worth double what Isak's worth. I'm just saying, the money's gone insane in these days. I mean, Isak is a good player, but fuck me. 120 million quid is insane. And they've turned that down. They want 150 million. Yeah, 880 million, 900 million, maybe. Because Alan Shearer, remember when he went to Newcastle for £15 million? And that was like the British record at the time. I mean, goodness me, the amount that the transfer market's gone up like that, I think he probably would be at least 250 million for Alan Shearer. Goodness me. Nah, he was a great player, Josh Lee. Come on, 5p, 20p, bit harsh. Nah, you're absolutely right, Tails. Isak's a top 5 striker in the world, no doubt, but shows how centre forwards have dropped in quality. They have dropped in quality. You're so right. I can name about 20 strikers over the last, 15 years that are all 10 times better than Isak. Well, maybe not 10 times, but, there's exactly. Imagine Batistuta, Romario, R9, Van Nistelrooy, Henry, Sergio Aguero, all these sorts of players that have played Oh, my God. All these players would be worth an insane amount of money, wouldn't they? Yeah, you're not wrong. Could fund a new stadium. Shearer, 200 million, $1 billion. Prime Shearer would be worth 250 million. Isak's only so expensive because all the other strikers are so bad right now. I think that's fair, Kristofsky. When you're putting up those sorts of numbers and you're guaranteed to get goals, obviously that is going to come with a certain premium because it's guaranteed goals. But you're right. I mean, there used to seem to be a lot more strikers like Andy Cole. Goodness me, what a goal machine he was when he was at Newcastle as well. And, of course, at Man United, Andy Cole, Dwight York. Yeah, these guys would be just... They're all better, aren't they, than the modern strikers. The role of the striker is different now. That's fair. That's fair. Shearer would be worth a Brentford or maybe an Everton. Ollie, oh my God, yes. Ollie was unbelievable. Zlatan, Falcao, Van Persie. I'm loving this. There are updates on Sesko Kagundu. The situation there with Sesko is basically he is expected to be making his decision in the coming hours, days, about where to join. So it seems Man United and Newcastle are both interested. Newcastle's initial offer rejected. They're expected to bid for a second time. United would be expected to be getting a bid together. It may be one that includes one of our players or not. It depends. It's a lot of money involved. They're looking for 80 million. So we haven't bid yet, but we're expected to. Newcastle expected to table another bid, and it's all dependent on what happens with Benjamin Sesko. If Benjamin Sesko now decides he wants to sign for Man United, then Man United will take over in terms of negotiations there with Leipzig. But we're obviously not tabling a bid until we actually know that this player wants to join Man United ahead of Newcastle. Paul S., thank you so much for your super chat there, you hero. Thank you so much, Paul S. He says, who was your favourite Redhead United player? Asking for Zane. I mean, there's only one right answer here, mate, isn't there? You know, there's literally only one. Scholesy. It's got to be Paul Scholesy. Obviously, Nicky Butt was... well, I really liked Nicky Butt. He was one of the most underrated players. You know, I loved that era in the 90s, you know, like Nicky Butt and Sparky and all that. Brilliant times. Early doors there. But, you know, I'd say it's got to be Scholesy. Scholesey's the best ginger player of all time, isn't he? Yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be the best ginger of all time. Who's the best ginger of all time, guys? Just struggling here. Jan Arnarisa. Scholesy is clear, mate. Scholesey's the best ginger footballer ever. Got to be the case. Got to be Scholes. Yeah, it does have to be Scholes. Thank you so much for another super chat there, Paul. Get some love hearts in there for Paul S, you legend. Thank you very much for that. Forlan would be a fortune, definitely. Isak let go into Liverpool for £150 million. Deal add-ons for Isak. Deal to Liverpool, and Benjamin Sesko should sign for Newcastle United now. Scholesy, John Curtis, Luca Toni, David Villa, Van Persie. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're not talking about the ginger. You're talking about just awesome strikers. Yeah. They all were all awesome, yeah. Perlo will be worth £350 these days. 350 million, you mean, yeah? Pogba, Brian Robson, Wes Brown, Scholesy, Alan Ball, yeah, Alan Ball. Scholes, your favourite all-colour headed player ever. That's a great shout, AML, to be fair. Scholesy's one of the best ever, regardless of being ginger. I mean, Mick Hucknall. Yeah, 90s, early 2000s. I'm with you there, Daz Salford. My favourite era is probably the 90s, followed by the early 2000s. I agree, yeah. Dave Kitson, let's go. Sancho says, only a ginger can call a ginger ginger. Hey, I'm 8% Scottish, mate. Just so you know. I'm 8% Scottish, lad. Pogba. Best ginger footballer ever is obviously Scholes. Dennis Law was kind of ginger. Yeah, Gordon Strachan was full on ginger. Gordon Strachan's a very good player. He might be number 2 on the list, actually. Behind Scholes, he was a bit before my time, but apparently he was absolutely awesome. That's a great shout on Gordon Strachan, lad. Scholesy's the only ginger that made the big time. Us cave dwellers do not go out in the sun. The only ginger that made the big time. Come on. What about Ed Sheeran? What do you just mean in football, yeah? Oh, I love it. Same for Scholes, around 300 million. Rather have Prep proven that doesn't need to choose if we are a good option for him. None of them come close to the Holy Trinity or €1 Player of the Year. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, no, that is legendary. I don't want to know, Madhouse. Good afternoon there, Paul Ennis. What's going on? We're into the Q&A section of the stream now, guys. If anything drops during this next sort of 15-20 minutes, of course, we will cover it. If there's any breaking news, I'll just check all my sources here again, see if anything's come out in the last few minutes here. Ben Jacobs, exclusive. LAFC reach agreement in principle with Spurs to sign Son Heung-min. Terms in place with South Korean international. Arrival date to be determined, originally planned for this week, but currently not locked in. What the fuck? I knew that obviously LAFC were in contact with Son and they were interested in signing him. But I can't actually believe Son Heung-min's going to the MLS. What a bloody waste, man. Oh, he's one of the most legendary players in the Prem last 10 years, isn't he, Son? He's a great player. Definite Spurs legend, but he could be playing for a much better team in Europe right now than gastastic LAFC. And they must be paying him a handsome pretty penny. Fair play to him. He's into his retirement phase now. Now he's going over there to just basically go to the glue factory of the MLS and just take the big fat paychecks in the sun. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Think about he's changing the weather of London to LA. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I don't blame him, but I would have thought that he could have easily played for I mean, we'd have still had him, wouldn't we? I know he's getting on and he's old now, but we'd have definitely still had him because he's a great player. And I'm sure a lot of teams in Europe, Bayern München, whoever, I'm sure a lot of teams would have been interested in him. So I'm surprised that he's ended up going to the MLS, honestly. I think he's not quite ready for that. I still feel he's got a lot to offer. How old is Son? Son come in. Anyway, looks like Son's going to LA. He's only 33. I mean, he's definitely going to be slowing down, but I would have thought for at least a season or two, he could still play for a top European side and be very, very effective. I mean, we know he was showing signs of, slowing down a bit this season just gone, but he's been an immense player. I just find it crazy that he would choose LAFC out of all the clubs that are around. Mad, isn't it? Mad. I mean, that's like the sort of move he should make when he's 35, 36, not 33, in my opinion. Yeah, like De Bruyne has just left City. He's gone over to Napoli. That's the sort of move that Son should be making, in regards to De Bruyne. Are you talking about ginger players? Does he really count? He's more strawberry blonde. You know what I mean? I guess he does. Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Garnacho like in Faz Pose? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. What a shithouse, mate. Get him gone. I can't stand him. I know, he's a petulant little child. Son's 33. Can't blame Sonny. He'll make more money there in a week than he has a full season with Spurs. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm guessing the transfer or the contract, is significant for him. I'm guessing he is getting paid very handsomely to play for them over there, yeah. So he'll be swapping the North London derby for the El Trafico then. Mkhitaryan still cooking in Serie A. Too young for us. 33. Oh, Son's 4 years older than Watkins, lad, but he's still a great player, Son. I know he's lost a bit of his speed and all that sort of stuff, but he's still a very good player. Still good enough. He has only just lost a bit of pace. Yeah, exactly. Son's lost a bit of pace, still a very good player. That's exactly how I feel, guys. I feel like he's still a very good player. He should be playing for one of the top teams in Europe still, or at least like a good top side in Italy or something like that, But he's going to LA. He's been very loyal. I mean, fair play to him. He's done it the right way, hasn't he? He literally won that European trophy for them. And then now he's leaving. It makes sense because the previous manager obviously left. They've now got a new manager. It's a new project, new time. He's 33. I mean, it makes sense he'd leave Spurs. I was saying this a month or two ago before there was any talks of this, actually, if you remember, that I think Son's leaving Spurs this summer. I said that a couple of months ago, guys. Smash a one if you remember me specifically saying that. Because it just made sense with Postecoglou leaving and the fact that he's finally won that trophy. Now he's won that trophy. He's a Spurs legend. Let's get the fuck out. Walk off into the sunset and get a proper move for big, big money with another big club. I'm surprised it's LAFC, but, he should have gone to like a Bayern or a Napoli or a Juventus or just someone like that, in my opinion. But there you go. Can't wait for the game later. You remember, Vexico, you remember. They call me Mystic Pig because I predict these things. It wasn't hard to predict because he is getting on and, Son has lost that burst of pace. Is Son the most popular player in Korean history? He's got to be, yeah. Obviously, Park Ji-sung as well is probably the second most. I mean, for Man United fans, obviously, it's Park is the most. But in terms of Son's like pretty much a globally recognised figure in a lot of ways. Especially, for in South Korea, I don't think you get more famous than Son in South Korea, lad. So he's definitely more famous, lad, yeah. Son hasn't been the same since the miss against City. Son's father name is Som, Is it really? Laurie says that's probably why. What's this all about? Right, let's get stuck raw into the live chat then, guys. So if you haven't seen, Sesko has got to make up his mind for Man United or Newcastle. We're assessing whether it's worth going for him because Newcastle are about to bid again for a second time about 80 million. Simon Stone says that Højlund is valued about £30 million. We're expected to try and sell him for that. We might be including him in an RB Leipzig deal. Garnacho to Chelsea is still on the books. That's a possible transfer that happens later on in the window. That's basically the sort of latest updates of the day. Let's get stuck raw into the chat then for a few more minutes. And once again, if you're just joining the stream, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, get yourself involved. Let's see how many subscribers we're on now. We're trying to get to 92,000 subscribers before the start of the season. And we're currently on 91,723. Let's go. I reckon we'll do that. Yeah, don't forget Green with some more money there. It's to do with the Olympics and Alipig. They will pay Son a shit ton. Well, there you go. I mean, it's a branding thing, isn't it, to get a player like that with all that. Like we've discussed, Son is hugely famous in Asia, hugely famous around the world. Like he is like a Beckham-esque type signing. Obviously, LA Galaxy signed Beckham as their designated player, whatever, back in the day. And that had a huge effect on the interest in the MLS. Well, this will have the same with interest in the MLS, particularly in like South Korea and parts of Asia where Son is such an absolute mega star. So they will definitely get a lot more eyeballs on their product there for having someone like that. And then there's also just a factor of all the people that have grown up watching Son in the Premier League as well around the world. It's a huge signing for them. It's a brilliant signing for them. Yeah, that Park song's crazy, isn't it, lad? How are you? Thank you so much for saying that about the channel, Paul Welford. You're a Villa fan. You hope Watkins stays. Fair play. So what's the deal with that then, Paul? Did he sort of fall out a little bit with Emery towards the end of last season? I seem to remember, and like Rashford went in there and was getting selected ahead. I mean, maybe he's open to leaving, I don't know. But obviously we've got to actually bid for him first. We don't seem to be doing that. We seem to be focusing on Sesko, really. So, but if we can't get Sesko, maybe we will come a knocking for Ollie. Do you reckon Mbeumo and Cunha will start today, mate? I think so, yes, Johnny. Cunha had the last game off due to fatigue issues, didn't he? Maybe he will still not start, but should get some minutes. But I think Mbeumo's starting the game. Yeah, Mbeumo's going to be starting. I think that was actually confirmed by Amorim a couple of days ago anyway, wasn't it? We're going to be seeing him. Mrs. Piggy's all good, Elliot. Thanks for asking, lad. Thanks for asking. Sesko's picked Manchester United. I've just been reading it on the Manchester Evening News page. Interesting, Paul. That's very interesting. Any more reputable sources, lad? You know, let's know. Let me have a look. Let me go and have a look, lad. See if anybody else has confirmed this. I can't see anybody else confirming that. I mean, Manchester Evening News, okay, fair enough. We'll wait on that one, you know, Paul. We'll just wait. What's up with Sancho? Is that Melt still hankering for his money? Yeah, he is. He is. And obviously, Juventus are just trying to get him for basically peanuts. The wages are an issue. A lot of Koreans in USA, especially LA. Yeah, there you go. Sesko should have been picked. Newcastle United, Dare. Sesko picks to stay. What? Park's better than Son. Wing is better than... Oh... I think it was the Duran ego, and he's been happy scoring in friendlies. Joey, Jackson and Emery know each other. Both clubs have signing money. If Watkins leaves, Jackson will go to Villa. Interesting, lad. That's an interesting shout, but can they afford him? I suppose if Watkins leaves, maybe, but wouldn't it also be possible that we gave him a player in return? Like we talked about Garnacho or someone like that. It's possible. It's Ramsey who will leave for West Ham. If Newcastle are going to bid 75 to 80 million, that must have had some encouragement. Oh, yes, that's right, Mr. Lad. I know, Daz Salford, I don't pay much attention to it either, lad. I don't really use it as a... I mean, sometimes I use, like, Luckhurst or whatever if he said something, but most of the time, I stay away from it, lad. Stay away from it. Mustard, you're a legend. Thank you so much for putting that link in there. Yes, I'll pin that to the top of the live chat in a bit. So we are doing a watch-along tonight on the on this channel here at about 9:30 p.m. We'll be doing the game against Everton, Man United v Everton, 9:30 p.m. UK time. Kickoffs at 10 p.m. Come and join us for that, lad, using this link. Newcastle, Liverpool, same game. Would Newcastle drag it until after that? Could do, Kevin. That's a good shout. I mean, I don't know if Liverpool are going to be prepared to pay what Newcastle want. They've already, in my opinion, offered a cracking offer for Isak there, which Newcastle probably should have accepted just to get the money in there and get the ball rolling with signing a new player and getting the team settled, because now obviously they've got the position where they got a want-away player that they might not be able to sell. What's that? Hypergraphy says, Doris T-Lady confirms Sesko is at Toon Army Medical now. Am I safe to come back after to watch the game? Yeah, of course you are, Shelley. We welcome in everyone else, unless you're an absolute meltbag. The cramps I will have laughing when Sesko chooses Man United. Let's go, Morton. I hope so too. I would choose Man United if I was him too, and it's not just because I'm a United fan. It's because I feel like we're just a bigger, better club with more chance of winning things in the next 5 years. No chance Jackson will come in its wages and the fee of 80 million. Yeah, he's too much money, mate. I agree. Luckhurst is a clown, says Salford. Well, you said it, not me. But they do call him Samuel Cuckhurst for a reason. Or at least I do. Think Watkins is still upset Duran left for Saudi? Yeah. Probably. That's a loss, isn't it? We used to have 4 strikers and now are about to replace our only one with a new one. We should keep both of them, even get a third. Well, I think we should sign 2 and sell 1. I think we should get rid of Hoyland and we should sign 2. We should get a good Wiley backup, i.e. Jamie Vardy or someone, and we should get a proper baller, proven Prem player like a Watkins or someone like that. So I'm with you, really. We do need 3 proper strikers. We're not going to take a low ball offer. Nah, you're not, are you, Alan? Well, I don't think 120 million is a low ball offer for Isak. Do you really think that? So you think he's worth 150? I mean, I don't think he's worth that, Alan. I'll be honest. I'm looking at 120 thinking that's a cracking bit of business for you guys. Just read on the back of my Red Bull that Sesko's going nowhere. Adieri says, hi, Sesko doing his medical at Newcastle United now, Ray. Could Man United buy Samu from FC Porto? I mean, I guess we could, but I've not really heard too many links or anything. Connor Cody to Wrexham. If we don't get Sesko, let's keep Timu Haaland and get Baleba. Yeah. Fair enough, Agrippa. Well, there you go. We don't have to spend and get a striker. We could get a midfielder, goalkeeper. That would improve us. Not the best there, Billy Prout, lad. You don't think either team would play Isak in the second game versus Newcastle? Nah, fair enough. Fair enough. Russell, brand new legend. Fair enough. Calvert-Lewin, Clown. We don't want DCL, do we know? If Sesko chooses Toon, it means he has no balls. Well, I mean, they are further ahead. They do have European football. They can pay well because they're going to be getting a lot of money, and obviously Isak's being replaced. There's an opportunity to replace Isak there. You know, it's a good opportunity for someone. Look at what's happened to Isak. He's used Newcastle as a stepping stone to getting a massive money move to one of the biggest clubs in the world now. That's just the reality of the things that are happening. And that could happen for someone like Sesko in 3 or 4 years' time. If he smashes it for Newcastle, he could be moving to Real Madrid for 150 mil for huge money. That's what can happen for a player, because that's been proven with Isak, if you're good enough. So you might look at that and go, yeah, well, Newcastle's maybe not my final destination, but I'm 22. If I stay there till I'm 26 and then move to Real or Barca or whoever, then I'm pretty sorted, aren't I? So you might actually think that the Newcastle deal is a good idea. Even though United is a bigger, better club, it's like we are struggling at the moment. James says, winning things, Piggy. Newcastle have billions behind them. What do United have? Awful owners, maybe one bigger fan base, but not better and decline. Well, we've got a lot more than Newcastle. You know, we've got the history, the traditions, the trophies for a start. I mean, the trophies, goodness me. We've got 13 in the Premier League era alone and 20 all time. Newcastle got a fat 0 in the Premier League era, mate. Bunch of perennial losers. That's what, James. Okay? All right, fair enough. You do have, rich owners now, and you've got a great manager, and, you are doing well at this moment in time. But, a leopard doesn't change its spots, and a Georgie doesn't change it from being an average, mid-table side, because they've got new owners, lad. You know what I mean? It's all bants, lad. You're surprised LFC aren't interested in Sesko? Yeah. Plus, also, let's face it, Newcastle bit of a dump, mate, ain't it? You know what they say? If you think you're working class, take a trip to Newcastle, you realise you're middle class. Hey-oh! I'm joking around. James, I'm joking, lad. I'm joking. It's all just fun. Newcastle doing well at the moment, lad. I love a Geordie, me. Salt of the earth, mate. Did West Ham sign that keeper you were linked with? Victor? No. Don't know, actually. Newcastle have been in the Champions League like a bus in a Formula 1 race. It's pointless. They won't go past the first stage. I'm with you. Let's sign Havertz and Martinelli. You what? MB Creator says, imagine Xerxes as a striker. He's just a different type of striker. If United get Sesko, it'll be better to loan out Rasmus, who's supposed to be the same type of number 9 as Sesko. Any news on Sancho pissing off the net? Not yet. Dancing with the devil? No. Same situation still. There is interest in him, but it's tough to get a deal done because of his wages and his ego. Sam says, absolutely no chance Sesko chooses Newcastle ahead of Man United. There is only one United, and that's Man United. Simple as that. Facts. True. League Cup last year, Pig. Oh, yeah, that's true. They won the League Cup last year, lad. The Mickey Mouse League Cup. Won in 70 years. Let's go. Let's book a fucking holiday to Disneyland Paris to celebrate, mate. You know what I mean? Oh. Well, we have changed from being average. Well, no, that's true, Alan. That's true. But, how long's that going to last is what I want to know. Maybe when Eddie Howe leaves and goes for the England job in a couple of years, you're going to go back to being absolutely shite. Hey, I've seen this before, mate, with your club, Alan. I've seen this before, lad. I've seen it. Remember the Keegan days, mate? You had all this money, shitloads of money, spending money, spunking money, getting all these players. Alan Shearer, £15 million. And then what's that? You're going to challenge for the league. You're challenging for the league. You're up there. You're up there. You're top by fucking Christmas. Oh, and then you bottom 10, 15 points or whatever in the running, lad. And then you shat it. And then, oh, what's that? Next year, back in the shit. I would love it. I would love it if we beat them. I would love it if we beat them. You know what I mean? So, yes, you have changed from being average, but you have the potential to go back to being quite average very soon, lad. That's right. What happens if Eddie Howe goes? You know, are you going to necessarily get the top manager that you need? Will he take over and do well? Will he struggle? Will there be an exodus of players when Eddie Howe leaves? You know, think about it. You're not guaranteed to challenge for anything over the next 5 years. Right now you're in Europe. Right now you're up there. Right now you're looking good. But you're not guaranteed to win anything in 5 years. Man United way more likely to win anything than Newcastle United. Hey-oh, we just lost a couple of Geordie subscribers. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just having a bit of bounce. Yeah. And I'm also making good points. Alan knows. He says, I've seen it too. I've seen it before, Keegan. Exactly, yeah, you've seen it even before, Keegan. So it does happen. Look, I actually want you guys to have some reasonable success because I'd rather you guys who have a very loyal, supportive fan base and are a very good historical club and everything than someone like Liverpool or Chelsea or City or Arsenal. I really, really would rather see you do well. But I just don't think you've got it in your locker, lad, personally. You know, there's an old expression. It was said by the legend Vin Diesel in the movie The Fast and the Furious. It doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. And you just don't really often see Newcastle winning that much, mate. That's all I'm saying. Is the Pope coming to United? I love it when tuned by Sesko for 100 million. Love it. Man like Philippe Albert. Yeah, Philippe Albert, lad. Oh... I did like Newcastle's team back in the 90s, to be fair. Yeah, Shearer's a great player. Obviously, Ginola and Rob Lee and David Batty. Who else was there? Yeah, no, they had a good set of team. They had a good set of players at one point there. Sesko, guys, is Sesko going to United or Newcastle? If I had to guess, I'd think he would want to play for Man United for the reasons we've just been talking about. I think they need to change PSR and SR if Man City get away with the charge of this. But I agree. I don't even like this whole PSR guff. I think it's gash. No places in Newcastle to match the Golden Triangle and Cheshire attempt a player to live. Didn't they get relegated 3 years later? That's a fair point, you know, Ronster. Yeah. Didn't they get relegated 3 years later from Keegan's mouth? Precisely. There you go, lad. Actually, I do like Geordies. Me too. Newcastle have a long journey nearly every away trip. That's off-putting. The manager, I would love it if we beat them for you to say that. But I was Stuart Pearce. You went down my book. Yeah, quicker than one of your players on the floor crying. You what, Vincent, lad? Respect to you, Vincent Bullock. Newcastle fans, don't get like arrogant City fans just because you have more money. Thought you were a bit more class than them. How here, man? Fergie was very good at provoking other managers. Wenger, Keegan, Benitez all got wound up by Sir Alex. Mr. Pig, Villa should be up there with the best. I mean, Aston Villa's a big club historically as well. I mean, I put them on the same sort of level, maybe even slightly higher than the likes of Newcastle historically. To me, they're a team that should be finishing 6th place every single year. You know, they're a big club, mate. Villa is a big club. You know, they should be finishing 6th or 7th every single year. Oh, Gary Speed, yes, ROP, man. Les Ferdinand, Peter Beardsley, Faustino Asprilla, yeah, mate. Shaka Hislop, Pavel Cernacek, you know? You're getting frustrated waiting for the decision. You'd have taken Shearer, but was happy with just dominating the Premier League. Oh, Shearer is one of those players that I feel like we did miss out on at Man United as well. Yeah, I would have loved it. That would have been a great... And another one's Gazza, isn't it? Imagine if we'd have had Gazza and Shearer in that team of Fergie days. Oh, do you remember Dalian Atkinson? Yes, I do. R.I.P. to him as well, lad. Absolutely. He was a Villa player, wasn't he? You wouldn't have taken their average defence, though. You like Newcastle with Alberto Solano and Laurent Robert. Yeah, no, we haven't made a bid yet, Joseph. Newcastle's first bid was rejected. They're expected to be making a bid imminently again. And then if he wants to come to us, if Sesko's given us the green light, then we will put in a bid or an offer. That seems to be the case. See you later, Piggy. Your banter's up there today. Thank you, Elliot. Appreciate that. Sesko wants to play in the bottom half of the league with United, dream of the days they were top. United won't win the league in the next 10 years. You can't really say that definitively, James. We could win it in the next 5 years, maybe, if everything goes to plan. But I know it's unlikely. We have to completely rebuild from where we are, which is a 15th place side. We have to be realistic. But you never know. Vincent says, you can't say that, big man. Okay, you're just a matter of you break the rules by 115 times winning against winning. I don't really know what that means, Vincent. I think you're saying that it's not just winning's winning, because if you cheat like City did, then it's not winning. I think that's what you're saying, and I agree. But I'm talking about winning without cheating. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Faustino Asprilla, absolutely, absolutely. Paul S says, I just watched the movie about young Pele. What was the movie about the kid who played for the Geordies? Oh, yeah, it was called Goal. Mate, that's so good, that film, actually. And I don't even mind the second one. Don't watch Goal 3, though. Please, don't even do it to yourself. It's not even the same movie about the same people. It turns into shit like fucking Gashtastic Z-list version of Gashtastic Green Street at the World Cup or something. It's bloody awful, mate. Don't watch Goal 3. But the first Goal movie, that's a classic. Santiago Munez. John Robert, thank you so much for your £2 super chat. He says, Man United think they are all that. Laugh my ass off, you banter club. Well, okay, I think we all know that we're not there, but we can still attract big players. Just think about us signing Kuna and Mbeumo and those guys, top players in their teams. Yes, I know they're already playing for Wolves and Brentford, but they're big players who were wanted by other clubs, and they still come to Man United. We can still attract big players because we are still a big club. We still have big potential. If things go well with Amorim this season, we could actually get up there and maybe even surprise a few people. If Nottingham Forest can do what they did last season, or if Leicester City can do what they did in 2015, then Man United can have a good season this season. We just need to believe. Sign a couple of the right players, get a goal scorer, get a goalkeeper, get a midfielder. We've got Mbeumo, we've got Cunha. Hopefully Amorim's system's now taking shape. It's looking better in pre-season already. You know, hopefully we can go and start well in the campaign. Imagine if we beat Arsenal first game of the season, mate. We get the 3 points there against those Arsenal owners. Just imagine what that will actually do for our confidence. Next thing you know, we beat Fulham. You know, next thing you know, we're sitting at the top of the table after a few games. You know, let's try and think positive around here, guys. Really, you got a pet snake for your birthday, Mike Corlo Garnacho. That's a great shout there, RS. Yeah, that's a suitable name. Do you think Eddie Howe's the man to bring Newcastle forward? I definitely do. I really rate Eddie Howe as a coach. I'd have him at United. I've always said it. And I think he's destined to be England manager one day. I think he's a very good coach. Always been impressed with him, even when he was in his Bournemouth days, mate. You know, he saved Bournemouth from, like, they started in League 2 minus 15 points, and he saved them and took them up the leagues, and, you know, then went to Burnley and did well for them and set them on a positive run, and then went back to Bournemouth and got them in the Prem and kept them up there for 5-6 years, and they've established themselves now as a full-on Premier League side. The only reason they're established Premier League side is because of Eddie Howe. It's not because their owners invested shitloads of money or anything like that. I think, what was his name? Maxim Denim came in a few years back and took him over or whatever. But it's not like they've had money bags and stuff since those days in the League 1 and League 2 and stuff. He's had to do it by coaching players, signing the right players on a budget. He's clearly a very talented coach, and I think he'll do well with Newcastle. Yeah, but I don't want him to, though. This season, United will surprise everyone. Liverpool has basically overhauled. City has no. De Bruyne, Arsenal's Arsenal. Chelsea will choke in some games. Amorim will be up there. I like it. I'd like to think that we're going to be up there as well. You know, I think it'll be a lot better than last season, but we'll have to wait and see. Newcastle looked trash in pre-season without Isaac, signing a poor season for them. Come on, Abels. You watched the new War of the Worlds movie last night starring Ice Cube. It's a good movie. Oh, nice. Might have to give it a check out, lad. Yeah, thank you for your super chat, John Robert. Let's go, John Robert, guys. Get some big love in there for John Robert. He says, imagine Gyökeres scores a hat-trick as a City fan. Oh, right, yeah, well, I mean, that's something I don't want to imagine. What I'm imagining is Ruben Amorim coaching the players to just absolutely pocket Victor Gyökeres because he's worked with him previously. He's going to have a shit game and start crying, lad. That's what I think's going to happen. You wanted Eddie Howe after Ollie? Yeah, me too, pretty much, the Yorkshire Cowboy. I've wanted Eddie Howe for a while. I think he would be a perfect fit for us, actually. Good coach. Good coach. Stylistically, I like the way his teams play as well. Always have done. Eddie Howe should definitely be England manager. Yeah. Elliot Manduna, yo, what's going on? No worries, mate. Hope you're enjoying your day, lad. It's Sunday. That's a perfect day for lawn watering, lad. You know what I mean? Paul S., thank you so much for your $9.99 super chat. By the way, guys, if you're just getting in the stream, Keep smashing those likes on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. We're almost at 300 likes. Wow, we're only 2 likes away from 300. Hit the thumbs up button if you could. That would be immense. Get yourself subscribed. We're having a great chat. I'm going to stick on here for another 5-10 minutes or something. Get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we have discussed in this stream. Obviously, we're talking about Sesko. We're talking about Garnacho. All sorts of stuff. So get yourselves in there and thoughts and opinions in. Hit the subscribe button because we're on here daily with the latest United news. And we're on here tonight again for the Man United watch-along versus Everton at 9:30 p.m. You trust Amorim, I trust the Dutch Kojak too. Hey, let's go, lad. Chelsea overhauled this summer before they broke the defensive record and only conceded 15 goals. Good shout, Chris Skofsky, my son. 30 million for Hoynen's a robbery. Well, it's not really, is it? When we did pay 73 million for him, but we're the mugs, mate. We're the absolute shithouses who paid that much. He's not actually worth that. He actually is worth. Do you mean 30 million is too much? Because I could sort of understand where you're coming from there. But if you're talking about 30 million being too little, then I don't think it is. I think he is only worth about that. Kevin says, Visser and Sesko go in Newcastle, then Isaac to Liverpool. We need to go Prem proven. Watkins, I agree, Kevin Evans. I love your comment, mate. I'm all about that Watkins life as well. In your dreams, you will finish 15th and sack Amorim. Don't see it happen in Chelsea corner. I think it will be a better outfit this year, lad. That was a freak season. Just need one more like. Thank you, Vince, you legend. Yeah, the news on Sesko really is that he's open to joining Man United and Newcastle at the moment in terms of the projects, but some sources, Sky, report that he's potentially leaning towards United. Okay. Also, we know that Newcastle are about to improve their offer. There's an optimism that a fee and a structure can be agreed. This is via Ben Jacobs. He says that fixed fee already meets Leipzig's valuation. United also held talks with Leipzig on Saturday evening. Both clubs waiting on Sesko's decision, which is now expected quickly. Newcastle now feel in a position to move fast on the club-to-club side. Man United yet to place any formal bid, but one will be forthcoming as Sesko gives the green light. So that's the situation, really. I think that's fair. I think that is what the situation is currently looking like. Is that we're waiting for a green light to make an offer, but we are still interested. But Newcastle are the ones that have actually tabled a bid, and they're still looking the most likely, I suppose, for him to sign him because they've actually tabled a significant bid. And the money's just going up. RB Leipzig are asking for lots more money as well. You know, extra add-ons, sell-on clause. So maybe we just will walk away from the deal if it becomes too rich for us, because I can't see where we're getting £80 million from at the moment, whereas Newcastle can. For us, we probably should go someone a bit cheaper, someone a bit more Premier League proven anyway. Some bitter rivals in here today. Oh, well, you know, fair enough. I mean, obviously, they must be bitter because they've seen Man United win so many things over the years. Like, obviously, now we're in the shit. Even the last 3-4 years is more trophies than what most of these Melts clubs win. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's in our shittest moment. So it must be pretty annoying having watched Man United just dominate the 90s and 2000s, you know, and still manage to win a couple of trophies even when we're shite. And now that there's a bit of optimism back around the football club and we're actually potentially going to go on and have a decent season, people are getting a little bit scared, aren't they? Yeah, these rivals getting a little bit scared. That's right. We paid 64 million in add-ons for Rasmus and he never got his add-ons. We have put the money down. Surely a decision's coming today. You'd think so, lad. Yeah. To be so bold, I think we'll destroy Arsenal in the opening match and saying we'll cry. I think so too. United failed the credit check. They love it if they beat us. Oh, they love it if they beat us. That's so true. Hated, adored, never ignored, will never die. Yeah, wasn't that when you beat us to it 3 years ago? You can. The Geordie's got a great sense of humour, mate. You're absolutely right. You're not wrong about that, lad. Yeah. Yous have 18 million. Doris the tea lady has cracked open the penny bottles. John Robert, thank you so much. He says you drew to Leeds. What the fuck are you smoking? Yeah, we did draw to Leeds, mate. That's one game. Okay, the game against West Ham, we looked pretty damn good for about 55 minutes or whatever. We were very decent. Then we made loads of changes in the team. Didn't look great after that, but doesn't matter because it wasn't our first choice or whatever. Then the last game we had against Bournemouth, who have had the number on us in recent years a little bit. We've absolutely dominated them and played some good, dynamic, aggressive attacking football, lad. So there's some positives there. Look, it's a very different doing it in the pre-season and actually doing it in the Prem anyway. Even if we had an amazing pre-season, it doesn't really guarantee you're going to have a good start to the season. It's all about starting the season well. But it bodes well. If we can play well, get the confidence that we're actually able to score goals, create, play nice football, then I'm sure the team's going to just be much better placed going into the Premier League campaign. Eddie Howe's destined to be the next England manager in 3 years. I feel he will finally win you a major trophy. I think he's destined as well. I think he's going to have his nice club career here at Newcastle, achieve what he wants to achieve there. Perhaps maybe there would be a big offer after that, maybe from a huge club. You never know, he might stay in club management. But I think he's destined probably after Tuchel maybe, or, you know, to be the next manager. These rivals keep like 10 checks, but the backside can't cash. They don't know what it's like to go through the front side. Okay, Vincent. Change your breeches, buddies. As Neil. Watkins should force a move, considering how Emery has mistreated him. Yeah, there you go. I think if that's on the cards, then, you know, it might happen. But I think now Rashford's gone and they're desperate in terms of not having a lot of money. I think they'd probably like to keep hold of Watkins unless they're going to be suitably compensated. Let him decide he don't want to wait forever. If he goes to Newcastle, that would be it. We shall see somebody from Porto. Hey, fair play to you there, Hoosens. Appreciate you, my son. Great shout, lad. Ashworth wanted Eddie Howe for Man United. He also wanted to start using data for recruitment. Exactly. We should have listened to him, shouldn't we? They're surely getting scared right now. Facts. Yeah. Anyway, guys, listen, we're pretty much going to wrap up this stream now. It's been a great stream. Wow, we've been on air an hour and 22 minutes. Not too shabby. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I'll just have a look and see if there's anything come out last few minutes. So Sky Sports Premier League also reporting that Son Heung-min has played his last game for Tottenham Hotspur, captain in the side in their 1-1 draw against Newcastle. There it is, yeah. That's it. West Ham keeping close tabs on Eintracht Frankfurt's Amenda. And there's nothing else in regards to Man United. So there's the latest updates of the day, guys. Great stream. Thank you so much for joining in. We're almost at 316 likes. That's a Steve Austin amount of likes. Give me a hell yeah in the live chat. And thank you, everyone who's got in here and enjoyed the show or got involved in the chat and helped me enjoy the show. Thank you so much to you all for having your say. And we are going to be back on here tonight for the watch along, as I say. Please do come and join us on Flying Pig United YouTube channel around about 9:30 p.m. There is a watch along set up already. Here is the link. I'm going to pop it in the live chat here for the Everton versus Manchester United game that's taking place in America. Thank you, Gungshi, you legend. Thank you, The Mustard, as well. Oh, yes. Let me just pin that to the top. Thank you, The Mustard. Thanks so much to everybody who's got in the live chat, all the moderators, Gungshi, The Mustard, and everyone. Thanks for the mods. Daz Salford, your absolute hero. All the members in green, thanks for being members. Paul Warby, Russell Bland, Vincent Bullock, etc. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you to all the Patreons as well, like Dave Watkins and Kate Cadet and stuff. And thank you to everyone who's got in here in the show today. I appreciate you all. Great chat as always. You can come back after and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed, where you think Sesko's going, etc. Get your thoughts in. I'm going for 3-0 to United, I reckon, Morton. Maybe even 4-0. I reckon we're going to batter those Everton mugs. Let's go, Russell. Let's go, everyone. Right, I'm going to pin that to the top of the live chat. It is now going to be pinned there. There is the United versus Toffees watch-along link. In fact, do us a favour at the end of this one. Please go and smash the like on that link right there. And that will help us out as well at the end of this stream. Legends. That's it from me then, guys. Great chat as always. Thanks for tuning in. Looks like United will be bidding for Sesko, but only if he gives us a green light. Newcastle expected to be trying to get in. They're obviously going to go and table a second improved offer, it looks like, at this moment anyway. And so we don't really know who Sesko's going to choose, but we're still in the running for him at this moment anyway. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on. Thank you so much, Vincent, Disco, Dave, Russell, Paul, Sebastian, everybody. You know it makes sense, lad. Paul Warby, John Robert, yes, lads. Everybody else, thank you so much for tuning in. That's going to be it from me. Remember, you can follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Links in the description of this video. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. And also, check out the gaming channel on YouTube, Flying Pig Gaming. And also, come and join us for the watch along later at 9:30 p.m. There's the link right there. And also remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/flyingpigunited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/flyingpigunited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.